I confronted my mother about abandoning me to start over with her new family. Her response changed everything I thought I knew. My hands trembled as I hit send on the email I'd rewritten 17 times over the past month. 5 paragraphs of everything I'd never said to my mother parent about how it felt watching her build her perfect family from afar, how her weekend visits gradually disappeared, how I'd spent my whole life feeling like the rough draft. I was 19 now, halfway through my first year of college. Mom had called the night before, bubbling with excitement about my half-brother's acceptance to Princeton with a full scholarship. Just like his father, she'd gushed. Just like the man who wasn't my father. Just like the family I wasn't really part of. When she paused to breathe, I asked the question that had haunted me for years. Mom, do you ever wish you hadn't had me so young? The silence lasted so long I thought we'd lost connection. Eileen, why would you ask that? Her voice had changed, no longer light and breezy. Because you left me behind, I whispered. Another long pause. I think we need to have a conversation that's been too long coming. Can we meet tomorrow? I couldn't face her in person. Pant couldn't risk seeing pity or worse, confirmation in her eyes. So I wrote the email instead, pouring out 15 years of feeling like the practiced child, the one she'd learned her mistakes on before creating her real family with beautiful vacations, college funds, and daily bedtime stories. Her response came at 3:42 a.m. Ellie, please call me as soon as you read this. Here is something you need to know. I didn't call, I couldn't. Instead, I went to my morning classes with my phone on silent, my stomach in knots. When I finally checked my messages that afternoon, there were 8 missed calls and 1 text. I am outside your dorm. She was sitting on a bench under the oak tree, looking smaller than I remembered. When she saw me, she stood reaching for a folder tucked beside her. I should have told you years ago, she said, her voice steady but eyes red-rimmed. Your grandparents convinced me it would be easier this way. She handed me the folder. Implied were documents, paralegal paperwork with my grandparents' names highlighted throughout, court orders, custody agreements, rejected appeals. They sued for custody when you were 3, she said quietly. Claimed I was an unfit mother because I had you so young. That Jack and I were too focused on our education to provide stability. I stared at the papers, not comprehending. The judge granted them full physical custody, she continued. I was allowed supervised weekend visits only. When I finished college and tried to appeal, they threatened to cut me off completely. My throat tightened. But you stopped coming. No, Ellie, her voice cracked. They stopped allowing visits when I had Emma, said it would confuse you to see your half-sister. Every gift I sent, every call I tried to make, they controlled all of it. When you turned 14, they said you didn't want to see me anymore, that you were angry about my new family. I thought about all the weekends I'd waited by the window, about my grandparents saying your mother can't make it this time over and over until I stopped asking. Why didn't you fight harder? I demanded, tears burning my eyes. I did, she whispered, pulling out another document. Pernta, a restraining order from when I was 15. When I tried to see you at your school play, your grandfather threatened to have me arrested. The memories relined like shattered glass being pieced together. Prank Grandpa's insistence that we leave the theater immediately after my performance, the unexplained move to a new school district the following year. The only way I could stay in your life at all was on their terms, she said. And I thought having some connection was better than none. I stared at the woman before me. Taryn, not the abandoning mother of my imagination, but someone who'd been separated from her child against her will. What happens now? I asked, my voice small. She reached for my hand tentatively. Now we start over. Not because I want to do over family, but because we deserve the truth between us. Her eyes met mine. And because you've always been my special girl, Ellie. From the very first moment. Nothing and no one has ever changed that. Sometimes the stories we tell ourselves aren't the whole truth. And sometimes healing begins with the courage to hear another version.